any personal correspondences with them, you came to that conclusion,
The evidence is clear, sir.
according to you.
Oh, objection, Your Honor. I move that. Oh, wait.
Counsel,
Na ang sabi ko po, sir, ang sabi ng DOJ, may kulang kayong affidavit of authentication, may kulang kayong TSN. Yun ho yung inattach namin doon sa
Precisely.
affidavit.
So in other words, you added documents to your January 30, 2025
na,
affidavit?
patay kayo dyan.
Attachment, sir. Attachment.
So you...
Gusto ko magbigay ng example para maintindihan ng mga kababayan natin. Kung magkapit-bahay, nagkapikunan dun sa bakod, tapos sabi nung isa, bubulohin ko to. Is that a grave threat? Second example, dalawang boksingero, nagkainitan, susuntukin kita. This is among two professional boxers. Is that a grave threat? Third example, police. Sabi, bubunutan ko to ng baril. Is that a grave threat? Maybe it's just offensive dahil sa professional, you shouldn't say that to a fellow police. And my fourth example is a senator. Pag sinabi niyang bibitbiting kita, kekwelyuhan kita, palalayasan kita, is that a grave threat? I'll add some details. If that is supposedly addressed to a fellow senator and she is a female senator like me, na kahit na hindi naman isa hong kilalang runner, marathoner, but a non-violent person. Is that a grave threat? Well, I'll just tell you my personal opinion and then I'll tell you now. I felt that was a grave threat. So, may I ask the counsel and the witness to now answer the question? Thank you.
Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. At ito, patuloy nating re-reactionan itong impeachment trial ni VP Sara. Heto na nga, nagbigay na nga ng opinion itong defense team, itong witness at itong prosecutors kung ano ba talaga ang grave threat sa kanila, sa kanilang opinion. Okay? Kasi maganda itong tanong ni Senator Judge Pia Cayetano. Kasi nakikinig po ang buong sambayan ng Pilipino na anong tawag dito, dapat malaman ng mga Pilipino kung ano ba talaga ang grave threat. Sa tingin ba natin talaga bang grave threat yung sinabi ni VP Sara? Mamaya mapakinggan ninyo yan kasi maganda yung tanong ni Senator Judge Pia Cayetano. At saka guys, atin rin i-explain, i-react itong si Vice President Inday Sara Duterte. Nagsalita na po, no? At ano ba ang sinabi niya patungkol po sa impeachment trial kahapon, okay? Yan ang ating pag-uusapan. Pero bago ang lahat, paki-like, paki-share itong video natin para kakalat ito sa taong bayan. Sa mga hindi pa nakasubscribe, subscribe na po kayo kasi libre lang po ang mag-subscribe sa YouTube. Walang bayad yan. Updated pa kayo sa ating mga trending na mga balita. Okay? So, ayan, without further ado, pakinggan natin itong unang-una nating balita ay ito ngang si Vice President Inday Sara Duterte ay naglabas ng official statement kahapon. O, ito po. Okay? Sinabi dito ni VP Sara na mga kababayan, on the day 4 of the impeachment trial, lakihan ko muna ha para talagang makita ninyo yung statement na ito while babasahin ko. Mga kababayan, on day 4 of the impeachment trial, the country witnessed what I have been saying all along. The complaint is not supported by evidence. Ayan, malinaw yan ha. Meaning to say, yung mga sinabi dati ni VP Sara, nagkatotoo na. Saksi lahat ng mga Pilipino, taong bayan, kung paano po sablay ang mga ebidensya at mga witness nila. Okay, ito mga prosecutors na ito, sina Luistro, sina Dilima, hindi napahiya rin sila, di ba? Sabi pa ni VP Sara dito, repeatedly claiming that there were threats when none existed. Inventing an assassin where there was none, and fabricating evidence to support those claims does not transform fiction into fact. Instead, such actions undermine the integrity of the public institutions, erode public trust, waste public resources, and corrupt search for truth. 'Di ba? Alam naman po natin, naiintindihan naman po natin bakit nasabi yon ni VP Sara. Binanggit doon ng defense team ni VP Sara, si Attorney Vinluan, "Oy, ikaw, NBI Attorney Lutok, bakit ang tinitingnan mo lang ay yung sinabi ni VP Sara? Hindi mo tinitingnan kung bakit nasabi yun ni VP Sara." 'Di ba? Nakita niyo yung anggulo? Yung mismong sinabi ni VP Sara, doon lang sila nakatutok. Basta may grave threat, may grave threat. Protektahan natin ang Pangulo. So bias na kayo. How about the Vice President na siya yung unang naka-receive ng banta? Kaya niya nasabi yun para protektahan niya ang kanyang sarili. Did you get what I mean? 'Di ba? Sabi pa dito niya sa kanyang last paragraph, "An impeachment proceeding should be grounded in credible evidence, not speculations, manufactured narratives, or unsupported allegations. The rule of law depends on facts, not fiction." Thank you. Kaya nga si VP Sara nabanggit doon ng defense team na si Attorney Vinluan, bago kayo manghusga sa Vice President, tingnan nyo muna ang background nito. Lawyer po si VP Sara. Nakapasa po siya. Pinasiringan pa nga yung iba. Mas malaki pa nga ang grado ni VP Sara sa mga ilan natin ditong mga lawyers. 'Di ba? Sinita lang siya ni Cheese Escudero at that time. Wag na unnecessary comments doon, pero sa poll sila doon. 'Di ba? Bakit kung ikaw magbabanta ka, bakit mo sasabihin in front of the mainstream media publicly? 'Di ba? 'Di ba? Alam mong lawyer ka. 'Di ba? So, wala pong katotohanan. Nasabi yun ni VP Sara kasi po sinagot niya ang isang tanong ng vlogger na, "Ma'am, baka ikaw ngayon, ma'am, delikado na yung buhay mo. Kasi ikaw, you are the number one threat sa 2028. Ayaw nilang mapresidente ka sa 2028. Kaya delikado, peligro yung buhay mo, yung mga kalaban mo, mga malalaking tao." Kaya nga ini-emphasize nitong si Vinluan doon sa sinabi ni VP Sara doon sa video, kasi hindi yun nila ginamit. Gumagamit sila a portion of the evidence sa video na yun, considering na kayong video na yun, 2 hours yun. Ang kagaguhan nitong si Lutok na ito, a portion of the video lang ang ginamit nilang reklamo, ebidensya na ito na grave threat. How about the rest of the videos? Nakatutok lang kayo doon kung saan si VP Sara nabanggit yung gurgurin niya si BBM. Pero hindi ninyo tinututukan, iniimbestigahan yung mga sinabi niyang si Martin Romualdez, grabe yung mga kaso ni Romualdez, 'di ba? Sinabi doon ni VP Sara na si Romualdez dinadaan lang sa pera kaya nananalo, tinatakot yung mga kalaban doon sa kanyang lugar. Wala kayong ginawang investigation doon. Ang sabi nila ni VP Sara na parang alam na niya kung sino ang magpapagurgur sa kanya. Hindi niyo rin inimbestigahan 'yon. 'Di ba? So that's unfair. Yan po Thank you. Yan ang sabi ni VP Sara. Sara Z. Duterte, Vice President of the Philippines, dated 14th of July 2026. Okay? Heto naman, ipapakita ko sa inyo itong kumakalat ngayon na video. Ngayon lang ito ngayong umaga lang ito, kung saan trinansport po itong si Senator Marcoleta at itong si dating Congressman Mike Defensor papunta po sa korte. Okay? I think sinisimula na ang kanilang proceedings ng kanilang kaso. Alam naman natin na kinasuhan ito dahil kinontra nila ang administrasyon, di ba? Heto po ang mensahe nitong si Mike Defensor sa administrasyong ito. Ito, panoorin po natin.
Yung mga nagnakaw, nakawala. Yung isa na-appoint pa, presidente ng bangko. Pero Waldes, saldi ko, hindi pa rin nakukulong.
Yan. Yan. Hindi ko nakuha yung video ni Senator Marcoleta Yung nandoon na siya sa loob ng korte, naka-wheelchair, tapos nag-transfer siya sa isang upuan. Kawawa nga sila Kawawa. Kawawa, at the same time, natatawa ako kasi mas nauna pa silang nakulong compared dito sa mga totoong nagnakaw. Ay, nakakatawa. Pilipinas, di ko na maintindihan itong natin, gobyernong ito. Eto, patuloy nating re-reaksyonan itong kasablayan nitong si Lotok. Okay? Ito. Play natin.
Threat against sa life ng Vice Presidente kasi nga hindi sila nagbigay ng specific information, hindi ho nagpakita ang Vice Presidente para mag-shed light doon sa investigation namin. So hindi ho namin siya makita na parehas. Magkaiba po 'yon. Ang sa presidente apparent siya. So definitely under the law ang NBI can motu proprio undertake an investigation. Dito sa Vice Presidente, allegation siya, wala kaming ma-validate na information. So hindi ho pa magti-trigger yung investigation doon. But I am sure insofar as the intelligence service of the NBI is concerned, continuous ho yung monitoring yan at naghahanap po sila ng mga lead para masolidify yung information na yan.
Thank you, Mr. Witness. I know the law. Presidente, Vice Presidente, Speaker, pwede niyong tignan at imbestigahan yan. But I feel na importanteng maipakita natin sa taong bayan that the same level of attention ang ibinigay po natin. At we also, if we need to walk the extra mile of investigating, we have to do it in the name of fairness. So, yun po yung nakita ko, and siguro yung sinasabi nyo nga po, hindi sumapat yung inyong mga nakalap na mga impormasyon, whether the information ay kulang or hindi kayo nagkaroon ng access sa mga information na to, kaya po hindi nagtuloy.
Opo, Your Honor. That is insofar as the Cybercrime Division is concerned.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr.
What is the pleasure of Senator Judge Lacson? Thank you, Senator Judge Villanueva.
I just want to pursue the point raised by Senator Judge Rapi Tulfo and the
The
others.
gentleman may proceed and he has 2 minutes.
I don't know about the other senator judges, pero until today, when Senator Judge Rapi Tulfo clarified
Opo.
na yung palang Oplan Romanov a threat against the first family.
Yes, sir.
Ang impression ko since last week, nung pag-uusapan natin yung Oplan Romanov, a threat ito against the Vice President. And since sabi nyo, part ng investigation ninyo, open source, di ba?
Yes, sir. Opo.
Yung bang speech ni Mayor Baste Duterte sa Maisog, naging part ba ng open source nyo yun?
Part ng
In this particular investigation that you conducted?
hindi po siya nag-form part as
So kulang yung
kasama
inyong
doon.
open source information.
So nasita na tuloy siya ni Ping Lacson. Kasi yung sinabi ni Mayor Baste, dapat isali yun. Bakit yun nabanggit ni Baste? Dapat maimbestigahan. Kasi ano ba talaga yun, yung Romanov na iyon? 'Di ba? Kasi kung ang pagbibintangan nyo lang ang mga Duterte doon, sabi pa nga ni Rafi Tulfo, pambubuli yun ng mga first family. Yan ang problema nga dito sa administrasyon na ito eh. Hindi nyo na sinusuri bakit nasabi yun ng tao. Di ba?
Hindi po kami nakafocus sa Romanov, Your
Okay.
Honor. Okay.
Was it also your impression na yung threat do sa Romanov was directed against BP Sara until today?
I don't...
Please be honest.
Yeah.
Don't be ashamed. No?
Yeah, I don't think so, Your Honor. Kasi unang-una, ang context ng Operation Romanov against the first family.
I know.
So it definitely against the president and his family, Your Honor. Ngayon, nung tinanong ho siya ni Princess Maui, doon nga kami nagtaka. Anong ibig sabihin ng Romanov? Anong context niya ng Romanov? Bakit against sa vice president? Hindi naman sila yung first family. So, yun yung reason po, Your Honor, kung bakit we try to invite Princess Maui na shed us some light para makita namin ano bang ibig mong sabihin doon. Ano ba yung pwede naming i-validate na information para makapag-case build-up kami pag meron.
Yes. So bakit hindi naging part ng investigation nyo do sa threat against the life of the president and the first lady? Kasi family yung binabanggit ni Mayor Basten, di ba? Hindi kasama yung si Speaker Romualdez, hindi kasama yung Chief Justice.
Opo.
Di ba?
Yes, sir.
Pero threat against the family, the first family,
Yes, sir.
as mentioned by Senator Judge Rafi Tulfo.
Kulang-kulang
Yes, Your Honor.
So, ang
investigation.
sabi mo, hindi naging part ng investigation nyo do sa inyong investigation report or sa affidavit of investigation, yung open source ng maisog.
Hindi po siya
Speech.
nakasama. sir.
Bakit hindi napasama? Open source din yun eh. That could reinforce yung inyong theory
Correct.
o yung conclusion nyo na meron
Kulang-kulang.
talagang serious threat against
The first family.
the president and the others. Bakit hindi nyo ginawang part do sa affidavit of investigation unless pareho tayo na impression na until today, ang alam natin sa Romanov, threat against BP Sara. Yun ang impression ko since last week. Ha?
Yun ho
By the
yung
way.
yun po yung impression namin nung hindi pa namin nakikita
That's
sa
exactly
open
my
source.
question, Attorney Lotok. So ngayon nyo rin lang na-realize na yung palang Oplan Romanov, threat pala sa first family.
First family.
Ibig sabihin ni Lacson dito, nakatutok kayo dito sa reklamong ito, pero wala kayong, hindi nyo man lang siniseryoso. Ang daming pong mga open source, daming palpak itong Pilipinas. Totoo. Daming mga kaso dito sa Pilipinas na wala talaga. Ang hina talaga.
Po, Your Honor.
Oh, thank you.
Noted, entered into the records. I would have recognized Senator Go first, but since you're there already, Senator Judge Alan
It's
Cayetano.
just a
You may proceed, sir.
manifestation and point of information. As Senator Judge Lacson said, no, it's for each judge to appreciate. But let me put context, no. I'm not close to VP Sara. I'm not close to Mayor Baste. Ang kasama ko sa Congress si former Deputy Speaker Pulong. But in the last 4 years, I think I've seen him twice or thrice.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. But my reading nung sinabi ni Mayor Baste is pag natulog ka sa gabi, remember the Romanovs. So we have to look at our history. The Romanovs were evicted via a revolution. Diba? So, Mayor Baste was doing a parallel ng 1986 na paalis yung mga Marcoses via revolution. But unlike the Romanovs, the Marcoses were given asylum or whatever you call it in Hawaii, and over time, nakabalik until the president became president. Ang Romanovs, inubos sila para nga hindi makabalik. Now, if Mayor Baste was making Romanovs uubusin kayong Marcos, di dapat na-offend si Senator Judge Amy Marcos because she's a Marcos. No? So, secondly, if he made that threat, so if he was saying, may Oplan mo, Romanov or maro-Romanov kayo, I'm sure the PNP or the Presidential Security Command, the National Council, would have filed a case against Baste. So I just want, it's fair that you mentioned him, it's fair sa investigation mo, but I don't think we should draw a conclusion here that Mayor Baste was threatening the first family because remember, there's a thin line between a warning and a threat. So pag sinabi ko sa iyo ngayon, witness, pareho tayong abogado, kompanyero, pareho tayong taga-Ateneo, mag-ingat ka sa sasabihin mo. That could be a fair warning. That could be not a threat, di ba? But kapag ka may threat talaga na pinarating ko sa iyo, pag hindi ko gusto ano mo, kakasuhan kita, that could be a illegal threat, di ba? Pero pwedeng warning. So I just want that on the record, Mr. Presiding Officer, Mr. Senate President, because everyone's watching, and in the same manner, we have to be fair to the first family. We have to be fair also to Mayor Baste and to the Dutertes, that rather than draw a conclusion that there was an actual. So the Counsel for Defense was making a distinction, mentioning Romanov and Oplan Romanov are two different things. It may be the same, it may be different thing. For all we know, narinig ni Mayor Baste na sila Iro Romanov, kaya binanggit niya pabalik. We don't know. I don't know. I haven't discussed it with anyone. I haven't discussed it with the few senators na kaibigan ko dito. So let's just be circumspect and careful from making conclusions. But as far as it is relevant, Mr. Presiding Officer, I appreciate the answer of the witness. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Senator Go, thereafter Senator Padilla. Senator Go, you have 2 minutes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. Balik muna tayo dito sa ating bayan. Masyado nang malayo, inaabot natin. To our Mr. Witness, some questions lang po, no?
Yes po, Your Honor.
Nabanggit nyo kahapon na 20 years na ho kayo sa NBI.
12 years, Your Honor.
Be specific, anong year po nakapasok?
2014, Your Honor. Nagsimula po ako from the NBI Academy.
2014?
2014. 12 years na po, Your Honor.
Hindi 20 years.
Hindi 20 years, Your Honor. 12, Your Honor.
12 years. So, kailan ho kayo nag-head ng cybercrime?
February 2023, Your Honor.
February of 2023. Maupay na adlaw pala.
Maupay po nga adlaw gyapon, sir.
And to our prosecutor.
Maayong hapon, sir. Maayong hapon.
Maupay na kulop.
Maupay man.
Kailan ho kayo naging RD?
July 2025, sir.
July 2025. So, naging cybercrime head kayo February of 2023.
3, sir.
Before that, saan ho kayo na-assign?
Chief ng Digital Forensics, sir, 2022.
2020. Anyway. So, meron ho bang nag-recommend sa inyo or wala na, nag-apply lang kayo o sino
Nang ano po, sir?
Naging head kayo ng cybercrime?
As chief of the Digital Forensics, I was designated by the then director, Medardo J. De Lemos. Then as chief of the Cybercrime Division, I was also designated by the then director, Medardo J. De Lemos, sir.
2016 to 2022, saan kayo na-assign?
2016, I think anti-organized crime and transnational crime.
Up to 2020.
AOTCD, yun, Your Honor. Then 2018, nasa Cybercrime Division na po ako.
So hindi po kayo head doon?
Hindi pa, as an investigation agent po noong 2018, sir.
Anyway, nabanggit niyo po kanina about sworn affidavit. And then nabanggit niyo about journalists, no, na part nung press conference. Tama ho ba?
Yes, sir.
Marami sila, di ba? Marami
Opo.
nabanggit
Yes,
sa
Your
mga
Honor.
nakarang araw, including last week, di ba? Bakit ho ba, bakit po hindi kinuha ang sariling sworn affidavit ng mga journalists na personal na naroon po sa press conference? Sa halip ay affidavits po ng agents na naglalaman po ng inyong summary ng mga sinabi po ninyo. Bakit hindi nyo pinursige yung mga affidavits ng mga nandoon sa...
Yes, Your Honor. Nung nag-appear po yung mga media personalities na nag-participate nung online press conference at the November 23, 2024, may kasama ho silang lawyer, and then we want to them to execute an affidavit. Ang advice sa kanila ng lawyer, hindi na raw. Pwede lang sila mag-participate ng interview. Pwede sila mag-sign sa minutes at meeting. So hindi na po namin pinilit.
So wala hong journalists or mga vloggers na kasama po doon sa sworn affidavit? Wala ho. Sa inyo lang, purely puro po ito sa
NBI.
magaling sa NBI lang po.
Yes sir, kasi ayaw po ng lawyer nila na mag-execute sila ng affidavit.
Okay.
Pero may kasama po silang lawyer doon, sir.
Yung mga detalye pong nakasaad sa inyong affidavit tungkol sa naganap na press conference, galing ho ba ito sa personal knowledge ng mga agents o batay po sa sinabi ng mga journalists na nakausap po ng agents pagkatapos?
Yes, Your Honor. Q&A, yung mode nung interview at nag-reflect ho yan doon sa minutes of meeting, and then nag-execute ng affidavit yung nag-interview na agent. So magkasama ho yung mga dokumento na yun, sir.
Mako-consider mo ba ito na second-hand account? Paano nyo masigurong naging actual ho yung pag-interpret ninyo sa mga sinabi?
Ano pong interpret, sir?
I mean, kung batay po ito sa second-hand account, paano nyo masisiguro na sakto, walang naidagdag, o hindi na misinterpret sa pagitan ng aktual na sinabi ng mga journalists at mga nakasulat sa inyong affidavit?
Yes, Your Honor. That's the reason why inauthenticate namin yung video mula simula hanggang sa matapos para hindi kami mawala sa tunay na nangyari. That's the reason why transcribe din ng ating agent on case kung ano laman ng video, kung ano yung naging tanungan doon, para hindi ko kami mawala sa investigasyon namin. And in fact, Your Honor, when we try to establish whether or not
Ang mali nyo lang, hindi nyo pinansin yung sinabi ni BP Sara at yung mga tanong ng mga vloggers, media, na may threat si BP Sara. Doon kami nagtaka.
utter ba talaga ang Vice Presidente na may kinausap na siyang tao para pumatay sa tatlo, na confirm namin ito nung November 26 video kasi ni-reiterate ng Vice Presidente, inadmit niya instead na sinabi niyang hindi ko sinabi yon. Sinabi niya nung November 26 na video na indeed may kinausap na siyang tao para pumatay doon sa tatlo. So, nabuo yung aming investigation na ang tawag po namin doon is admission against interest doon po sa ginawa ni Vice President during the November 26, 2024, sir.
Anyway, last question na lang po on sedition. No? How do you reconcile the fact that the Vice President discouraged her supporters from going to the streets with a claim of inciting to sedition?
Ano po yung, sorry.
On
sir.
sedition charges, di ba?
Yes, sir.
How do you reconcile the fact that the Vice President discouraged her supporters from going to the streets with a claim of inciting to sedition?
Well, in inciting to sedition, Your Honor, specifically in the case of People versus Nabong, it is not necessary na magkaroon ng actual sedition. The law also penalizes if the seditious words would encourage people to do illegal acts or to overthrow government. In other words, if the speeches would stir up the people to go against the government, if the speeches would disturb the peace of the community, if the speeches would undermine public order and public security, hindi ho necessary na magkaroon ng actual na sedition. That's under the
Meron
law,
ho
sir.
bang nagawa yung Vice Presidente na gaya ng sinasabi niyo ngayon?
Nagawa pong inciting to sedition, sir? Based sa findings namin, sir, yes. Based po sa findings namin. Ganito po ang nangyari. Kinumpare po namin based on the content and context of the utterances made by the Vice President in November 23, 2024, the utterances made by the Vice President in October 18, 2024, then the utterances made by the Vice President in 26 November 2024, and other facts and circumstances. Nung trinay po namin i-compare siya, may nakita ho kami ng mga utterances that would stir up the people against the government. For example, Your Honor, nung October 18, ang sabi ng Vice Presidente, walang number 1 ang Pilipinas na to, hanggang number 2 lang to para sa akin. Wala itong number 1. Kinumpara ho namin nung November 23, ang sabi doon sa November 23, I do not recognize anybody above me. It's a reiteration doon sa kanyang sinabi. That's number one, Your Honor. Then number two, may sinabi siya noong October 18 na anong magagawa ko, hindi marunong maging presidente yung nakaupo. Kasalanan ko ba yun? And then, November 23, kinumpara namin yon. Ang sabi niya doon, this country will go to hell because the person na nakaupo is hindi marunong maging presidente and who is a liar. So nakita namin yung pattern saka consistent na utterances. Then tinira namin yung pangatlong line. Ang sabi niya doon, alam ko si BBM may 5 impeachable offense pero papasa ba dyan sa House? Siyempre hindi. Then pagdating sa November 23, sinabi naman niya doon na the president is lying through his teeth para makuha lang niya yung boto ng mga tao. Tapos minura niya sila, PI ka, BBM, Lisa Marcos, and former Speaker of the House. So, tiningnan namin, sino ba yung nagsasalita? Kung ang nagsasalita, Your Honor, is yung ikalawa sa pinakamataas na posisyon in public at yun yung kanyang utterances, definitely, Your Honor, there is a tendency to stir up the people against lawful government.
Kindly wind up,
Against the
Senator
government,
Go.
Grabe naman. Yung kanyang pinagbabasihan, yun lang mga sinasabi ni BP Sara. In public pa yun, ha? Ang babaw. Ang babaw talaga niyan.
No more question, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Thank you,
Salamat
Senator
po.
Judge
Salamat.
Go. Senator Judge Padilla intimated to the presiding officer that he will defer his questions to a later time. Counsel for the respondent, you may proceed with your cross-examination.
Just a manifestation, Your Honor, in relation to the query or the manifestation of Senator Judge Villanueva.
In relation to the query of
No, his manifestation, Your Honor.
No need, counsel. Proceed unless he asked you a question to save in the court's time. Please proceed with your cross-examination.
All right, I'll just transform it into a question. You were asked
Yes, you
about
can.
that December 2, 2024 letter, correct?
December 2, yes, sir.
Oo. That is the letter where you gave a schedule for the Vice President to attend, correct?
Yeah, signed by our assistant director.
Alright, but
sir.
the schedule that you gave was November 11, 2024 at 10 a.m. and then you gave the address. So in other words,
Sinabi ko na huyang kahapon, typographical
okay,
error yun, sir.
my question naman is this if tama yung schedule sana at nakapunta si VP Sara, would it have affected your investigation?
Your Honor, even up till now, ready ho kaming tanggapin kung anumang information na threat against the life ng Presidente. Continuous ng Vice Presidente. Continuous po yun. In fact, sabi ko nga kanina, yung intelligence service namin is may ginagawang monitoring from time to time dun sa threat to life against the Vice President, President, etc.
Okay, I'll move on to a new point. Now, let me show you a portion of the interview of Dempsey Reyes of the Philippine Daily Inquirer. Please direct your attention to paragraph 13 of the minutes of the meeting. This is also the transcription made by Agent Kalilong. Page 173 of
Pwede na ba?
Annex G9 as well. So, here, it says, may press con kasi earlier than that, sabi niya na parang sabi niya lang, gusto daw siyang patayin daw according to her ni Speaker. That was during a press conference the day before, November 2022. So, considering that this is part of the minutes of the meetings, this is also part of the NBI's own records, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, my question is this. Did you issue a subpoena against Speaker Martin Romualdez, former Speaker Martin Romualdez?
Did you issue a subpoena? Kay Speaker Romualdez, sir?
Yes.
Kasi, ba't ako mag-issue ng subpoena? Wala pa kaming sufficient na...
So what's you did not issue?
Hindi kami nag-issue,
All right.
sir.
So, in other words, for VP Sara, you issued not just one, but 2 subpoenas. But
Because-
for the former speaker, you did not issue a subpoena. That's just a question.
There is an apparent commission of the crime for grave threats and inciting to sedition, sir.
I see. So, for this particular portion, you just turned a blind eye and did not issue.
Well,
Anyway,
there is no
my-
validated
Let the witness
information
answer,
on
Your
that,
Honor.
sir.
Let
Okay.
the witness answer. There
Okay.
was a question.
yeah, but based on
Counsel,
your
kindly don't argue with the witness.
But based on your testimony yesterday, you said that you have a system of evaluating factors, correct? My question to you is, based on that system, does Martin Romualdez have the capacity to execute a death threat, for example?
We haven't established any apparent crime committed by the former speaker, Your Honor. So hindi kami nag-delve dyan sa issue na yan.
Yeah, at any rate, this minutes of the meeting, which you all confirmed that is part of the NBI's own record, isn't this information regarding the death threat against VP Sara?
Well, ang sabi po dyan, if I may read my press con, kasi earlier than that, sabi niya, sabi lang niya, gusto daw siyang patayin daw, according to her, ni Speaker, that was during a press conference the day before. Precisely, Your Honor, the reason why we issued a letter noong November 22 is to ask the Vice President kung ano ho yung facts and circumstances dyan sa issue na yan. But since hindi ho nag-appear ang Vice Presidente, wala ho talaga kaming mapagsimulan. Wala kaming validated information.
But you issued the subpoena against Dempsey Reyes, correct?
Yes, sir.
Pero ang tinanong nyo kay Dempsey Reyes, yung case lang against VP Sara. Hindi niya siya tinanong ng threats to her, correct?
Well, unang-una, ang ini-establish namin, ang focus on ang investigation namin, the reason why we subpoena the late Dempsey Reyes is whether or not nag-utter ba yung Vice President doon sa statement niya na nag-contract na siya ng tao para patayin si BBM, si Lisa Marcos,
Okay,
at si former
that's
Speaker.
okay.
Sir, yun po yung focus ng investigation namin.
So despite that track, you still maintain that this part of the investigation, you did not have bias?
We don't have bias.
Argumentative,
All right,
Your Honor.
I'll move on.
Argumentative.
I'll move on.
The-
Let's go back to the investigation that you did against VP Sara. So you mentioned yesterday that the offended parties in this case, if at all, are BBM, FL, and the former speaker, correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you subpoena any of them?
No, sir.
Did they appear before the NBI?
No, sir.
Nakausap nyo ba sila ng personal?
No, sir.
And yet, you concluded that they were victims of grave threats, correct?
Based on the evidence we've gathered, yes, sir.
So without any personal correspondences with them, you came to that conclusion,
The evidence is clear, sir.
according to you.
Oh, objection, Your Honor. I move
So-
that. Oh, wait.
Counsel-
We cannot
counsel-
let this
No,
pass.
that's part
I
of-
move, Your Honor, that the defense counsel, with all due respect, be admonished from stating those unprofessional remarks. We are in front of national TV.
No, that's
That is his answer. If you are not satisfied with his answer, please don't lay any value to what the witness answered.
Tama naman eh. According to you. Di ba? Hindi naman pangkalahatan yun.
Honor, may I move that the
This is a
counsel...
reminder. This is a reminder for counsel for both parties. Kindly avoid side remarks. Henceforth, the presiding officer will have it stricken off the record. And whatever question you pose and afterwards withdraw will likewise be stricken off from the record, so as to avoid any attempts at showmanship usually seen on TV, yes, but will not be tolerated by this impeachment court. Counsels are so reminded.
we will comply, Your Honor.
Please proceed.
To clarify, Mr. Witness, yung NBI subpoena against VP Sara that you issued was her being a respondent, correct?
Yes, sir.
Pero as a complainant, you did not issue.
We issued a letter, sir, December 2.
As the complainant na siya yung subject naman ng threats, walang subpoena as to that effect.
Walang sampina, sir.
So in other words, hindi talaga siya naka-explain kasi what you sent out was a letter and not a subpoena.
Yung letter is to inform the Vice President na iniimbestigahan din namin yung threat against sa life niya. So therefore, kailangan namin yung presence niya or any information na pwedeng makatulong sa investigation.
Yun na nga, pero hindi niya siya sinenda ng subpoena. Isn't it that in a regular case, the prosecutor sends out a subpoena both to the complainant and to the respondent?
With the prosecutor, sir?
Yes. You're a lawyer, you know this.
What
When
do
you file
mean,
a
sir?
case before the prosecutor's office, the handling prosecutor issues out sa subpoena sa parehong parties.
Ang
Tama?
alam ko, during the case concern, I think nag-appear yata ang Vice Presidente sa DOJ. Yan,
Alright.
doon ako na-inform, sir.
Okay, I'll move on to a new point. let's talk about the reversal by the DOJ. Diba? There was a initial finding on February 5 and then it was eventually reversed. Now, would you agree with me that the rectifications that you made for the first affidavit of investigation were procedural deficiencies?
Procedural deficiencies.
Like the
No,
TSN,
it's part of the case build-up, Your Honor.
but what you added were TSNs, affidavits of your own agents, correct? Don't you consider that as...
Those were affidavits.
Yes, but don't you consider that those as a procedural and not substantive?
Part of the evaluation and case build-up, yes, sir.
All right. But in effect, the substance of the case remained the same.
Walang nabago ho sa affidavit, sa una at sa pangalawa, parehas po yun.
Very good.
Sir.
So in other words, wala kang no additional discussion on the merits of the case.
On the merits of the case, yung findings namin, hindi ho nabago
All
yun,
right.
sir.
Very good. So no additional witnesses were interviewed.
What do you mean interview, sir?
Wala nang additional interviews. Kung ano yung sa first affidavit nyo, yun na rin yung sa second affidavit. Wala nang additional interviewees.
Kung I think ang naalala ko 6 ho na media personalities ang na-interview namin at yun ho yung nag-reflect sa nag-reflect sa affidavit. At the same time, we tried to issue subpoena sa I think head ng ABS-CBN.
I understand that, but be more responsive.
Your Honor, if I may, the witness is still in the process of answering
Yeah,
his...
but
the
Your Honor,
question.
but the
Yeah,
answer is not
exactly.
responsive. Eh. My question is very
Let him
simple.
finish first, with all due respect, Your Honor.
With the permission of the counsel for the parties. Attorney Latok, the question was, sa pagitan ng una at pangalawang sinubmit ninyo sa DOJ, may mga testigo ba kayong dinagdag sa pangalawa niyong submission sa DOJ? O pareho din po yung mga testigo, nilakip lang yung mga affidavit na hindi na ilakip dun sa unang pag-submit?
Yeah, insofar as I'm concerned, Your Honor, parehas lang po.
Okay.
All right.
You may proceed, counsel.
But we will never know that for sure because you never released your first affidavit of investigation, correct?
Well, I think it's in the DOJ. Ang binigay sa amin yung certification kung ano yung mga requirements na dapat namin i-comply.
Yeah, but what you attach, when you received the subpoena from the House Committee on Justice, which was used as the basis for the articles of impeachment, the first affidavit of investigation was never included, correct?
Yung nag-submit ho dyan, Your Honor, sila Agent Kalilong, wala akong idea
Hindi
doon
nyo
sa
alam. All right, that's okay.
person.
So, I have a question about the affidavit of investigation, okay? An affidavit, or I'll just be more specific, your second affidavit of investigation was subscribed and sworn to, correct?
Yes, sir.
On February 10, 2025.
Yes, sir.
All right. Before who?
Can I check, sir?
Sure.
Witness may consult
Thank
the
you,
document before him.
Your Honor.
Counsel for the parties may assist him.
Your Honor, we'll just confront him with our own...
Subscribe and sworn to before Assistant Director Glenn A. Ricarte. Sir.
All right. So do you remember that you subscribed along with the other agents before General Ricarte now?
Yes, sir. May signature kami rito.
All right. And you did this because the first affidavit of investigation cannot be altered anymore.
What do you mean, sir?
An affidavit, as you know, you are a lawyer. Once an affidavit is subscribed and sworn to, it is a complete document already.
Yeah.
Okay? Meaning, even if you take out one page or you add an annex, you already alter the meaning of that document. Will you agree with me?
Your Honor, the process is legal evaluation by the prosecutor and case build-up. So pag nakita ho ng
No.
prosecution,
Your Honor, I'm
na-
just talking about the nature of the affidavit. I'm not
Attorney
talking
Latok,
about...
kindly answer the question. It's a general question pertaining to an affidavit in general, not this particular one.
ano yung question,
Okay, an affidavit, once you subscribe and swear to it, that already becomes a, if I may use the term, untouchable affidavit in such that you cannot take out one page, you cannot alter one paragraph, you cannot add annex,
Well, I think kung sinubmit niya na ho yan officially sa halimbawa sa korte, hindi na ho pwede yan. Pero yung process ho namin, yung evaluation tsaka case build-up, nag-uusap po ang prosecutor tsaka yung investigator. So sinasabi ng pros, pag may kulang ka, ito. So itong unang affidavit, since may kulang sa mga attachment, ayusin nyo, baguhin nyo, i-comply nyo yung mga requirements. Since yung affidavit na yon is naka-date nung January 30 at magkukomply pa lang kami, anong na-comply namin, nag-submit kami sa DOJ and that is already February 10, 2025. So magkaiba ho yung date. So definitely babaguhin namin yung date. Kasi nga, dumaan kami sa process ng compliance based on...
Wait. In other words, when you
evaluation.
subscribed and sworn to your January 30, 2025 affidavit, you added documents or pages to it?
Na ang sabi ko po, sir, ang sabi ng DOJ, may kulang kayong affidavit of authentication, may kulang kayong TSN. Yun ho yung inattach namin doon sa
Precisely.
affidavit.
So in other words, you added documents to your January 30, 2025
Na,
affidavit?
atay kayo dyan.
Attachment, sir. Attachment.
So
sir.
you admit that you added attachments to it?
Part of compliance, doon sa case build-up, at doon sa evaluation na requirement
All right,
ng
but
Department
Mr.
of
Witness, isn't it
Your
that...
Honor, again, can I respectfully request
Your
through
Honor,
the presiding
may I
officer?
just be allowed to proceed, Your Honor?
Let me be allowed. Can I be
Counsel for the
allowed?
respondent, let the counsel for the prosecutors finish with this observation or objection.
Can I make a respectful request to the defense to let the witness finish the answer before they propound the next question?
Bakit laging binabanggit yan eh? Wala na ngang inaisagot yung witness ninyo eh. 'Di ba? Meron bang kayong inattach doon sa affidavit? 'Di ba?
Please, for orderly proceeding, Your Honor, please.
Point well taken. Counsel, please proceed accordingly. And may I also remind the witness, Attorney Latok, kindly answer yes or no instead of yeah and na.
Yes, sir. Sorry po.
So that it's
Your Honor.
clear for our records.
Yes,
You
Your
may
Honor.
proceed, counsel for the respondent.
So you admit that after you subscribe and swear to that January 30, 2025 affidavit, you added documents to it so that it will comply with the requirements of the DOJ. Is that what you're saying?
Attachment based on the requirement of the DOJ, sir.
All right, thank
Yun
you
ang
for that
nilagay namin.
admission.
Simple lang yung tanong eh. Dami pang paikot-ikot eh.
One last point on this. Can we flash affidavit of investigation? Can we flash page 1? This is page 13, Your Honor, of the AOI's Annex G9 for the benefit or for the guidance of this honorable court. The one that was flashed earlier.
Tech is instructed to do so.
All right, so this is the first page of the affidavit of investigation. Will you agree with me that this was not received by this particular document as is was not received by the DOJ?
I don't have personal knowledge. Ang inutusan ko po dyan, yung executive officers and agent on case na makipag-communicate sa Department of Justice.
But you are a co-signer of this, correct?
Yeah, insofar as the content of the affidavit.
All right. And so you mean to say that you didn't cause the filing of this case with the DOJ?
Inutusan ko po ang executive officers at si Agent
Alright,
Kililong
but
na sila mag-process po na dalhin yung referral na yan sa Department of Justice, sir.
At any rate, you're smart enough
Okay
to
na, ma'am.
peruse the first page and you can see that there's no received stamp appearing there too, correct?
Received from DOJ o by DOJ, sir?
By DOJ.
Again, ang makakasagot po niyan, yung nag-process niyan, si executive officer nga namin.
Yeah, but
at si
based
Agent
on
Your
only-
Honor, again, the witness still in the process of answering the question.
Counsel, counsel, take it easy. Let the witness complete his answer.
Okay, Your Honor. But based as it appears only, as it appears on this document, this is part of the records and also uploaded in the Senate website already last July 12 so that the public can peruse. Annex GGG, this is page 13. Based on this document and observation, can you notice any received stamp on this document?
Based on that document, wala hong
All right.
naka-stamped or received.
Precisely my point that this was attached, if this was really received by the DOJ, there should have been an IDF right? Or a transmittal letter attached to this.
Again, yung makakasagot po niyan, yung executive officers, Agent Calilong, and the prosecution, sir. Kasi sila ang nag-uusap dyan. Sila ang nagdala ng dokumento na yan.
All right, I'll move on to a new point. Now, Article 4 of...
What is the pleasure of Senator Judge Pia Cayetano?
Mr. President, I wanted to take the floor before the defense went to another point, so I wouldn't interrupt his train of thought.
The lady
also.
has 2 minutes and may proceed when she's ready.
Thank you, Mr. President. My question is actually addressed to both counsels and to the witness.
Yes, ma'am.
So the witness also happens to be a lawyer. 4 na abogado po tayo mag-uusap dito. Pero ang pakiusap ko, speak in layman's term because we want the public to understand. Very simple question. I want to understand your appreciation of the crime of grave threats. Okay? It sounds like a simple question, but when I look at the elements, so explain ko din sa mga nakikinig. Pag tinignan natin ang definition ng crime, nandiyan yung elements. So the prosecution must always prove yung elements of the crime. Ang question ko ay, in your appreciation, dapat ba na ang supposed victim nakaramdam talaga siya ng threats? Or is it enough that the general public considers the statement threatening? Okay, so is it personal or is it a general sentiment? Now, before I proceed, gusto ko magbigay ng example para maintindihan ng mga kababayan natin. Kung magkapit-bahay, nagkapikunan dun sa bakod, tapos sabi nung isa, bubuluhin ko to. Is that a grave threat? Second example, 2 boksingero, nagkainitan, susuntukin kita. This is among 2 professional boxers. Is that a grave threat? Third example, police. Sabi, bubunutan ko to ng baril. Is that a grave threat? Maybe it's just offensive dahil sa professional, you shouldn't say that to a fellow police. And my fourth example is a senator. Pag sinabi niyang bibitbiting kita, kikwelyuhan kita, palalayasan kita, is that a grave threat? I'll add some details. If that is supposedly addressed to a fellow senator and she is a female senator like me, na kahit na hindi naman isa hong kilalang runner, marathoner, but a non-violent person, is that a grave threat? Well, I'll just tell you my personal opinion and then I'll tell you now. I felt that was a grave threat. So, may I ask the counsel and the witness to now answer the question? Thank you.
If you may, Your Honor, please, yung prosecution po.
Senator Judge Pia, who do you want to answer first?
Actually, magaling yung point ni Pia Cayetano ha. Ano ba talaga ang para sa kanila in layman's term ang grave threat? Ang daming example na binigay niya ha.
Good
In the
question.
order that you
Pag-iisipan ko
prefer.
ng matagal yan, Mr. President. I give you the decision on that one, Mr. President. Siguro prosecution kasi
Yes po.
sila naman ang kailangan mag-prove ng case nila. And then the witness and then the defense counsel.
Again, an admonition from the chair without stating conclusions of fact and law that again is reserved for the impeachment court. You may state your opinions with respect to the elements of
Definitely.
the crime of grave threats specifically identified
Yes.
by the senator judge.
And if I may, presiding officer, feel free to interrupt them if you feel that they have crossed the line, as I will. That's why I just
Opo,
want, I repeat my question, I want to understand your appreciation of the crime. You may, Mr. President, will we allow them to cite jurisprudence? I leave it up to you. I just
Opo.
want to understand the appreciation kasi.
Opo.
What do you think?
Doon sa particular pong katanungang yon ni Senator Judge Pia Cayetano na dapat ba may takot na naramdaman, correct me if I'm wrong, Senator Judge Pia,
Yes.
yung taong tinatakot o subject matter ng grave threats o pampublikong pagtanggap pa na nakakatakot yung mga sinabi niya laban dun sa taong tinatakot niya.
Siguro a simple yes or no with a very short explanation would
Opo.
suffice, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Attorney Ligutan, you have 2
Maraming
minutes,
salamat,
please.
Senator Pia Cayetano. Maraming salamat sa pagkakataon. Yung sagot sa tanong na iyan, yung sagot po ng prosecution, hindi po galing sa opinion ng aking mga kasama. Ito po ay isang decision. No less than the Supreme Court of the Philippines. It just so happened, Your Honors, as an answer, in answer po sa tanong ni Senator Pia Cayetano, may dalawang kaso na po yung Supreme Court. Yung isa is Paera versus People. Yung GR number, siguro yung mga law students, no? Mga law students. GR number 181626, May 30, 2011. The title is Paera versus People. Sinabi ng Supreme Court doon, wala pong batas na nagre-require na may private complainant. Ibig sabihin, hindi po required na yung biktima mag-execute ng affidavit upang yung akusado po pwedeng ma-found guilty ng grave threat. Paera versus People. But more than that, Your Honor, please, may isang kaso pa. No less than the Supreme Court in the Philippines. Sinabi doon, hindi po kailangan na yung recipient mismo nakaramdam ng takot or that sineryoso yung pagbabanta. Your Honor, to repeat, etong sinabi ng Supreme Court, all that needs to be proven is that they were intended by the accused to have that effects. Yung sagot sa tanong, hindi po galing sa prosecution, hindi po opinion, galing mismo.
Pasensya na kayo ha, pero wala talagang laman itong pinagsasabi nitong taong to eh. Walang point, walang logic. Kahit may pinagbabasihan siyang mga current mga kaso, no, pero wala talaga eh.
Sa Supreme Court of the Philippines, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you for that.
May padrama-drama pa sa kanyang mukha, wala namang effect.
Mr. President, can we now ask
If I may add, Senator Judge P, if I remember my memory aid correctly, there are only certain private crimes that need a private complainant, and most of these are personal crimes such as concubinage, adultery, seduction, abduction, rape, and acts of lasciviousness. Although these crimes are all entitled People of the Philippines versus the accused, without a private complainant, these crimes cannot be filed by the prosecutor in court without the cooperation or affidavit of the private complainant. Counsel for respondent will please reply to the query of Senator Judge Pia Cayetano. You also have 2 minutes, sir.
All right. I will try to avoid making conclusions of fact and law, Your Honor, but I will answer in light of the facts of this case and leave it up to the discretion of this honorable court.
Please, sir, you may proceed.
It is our position that the statements made by the Vice President were not threats in the first place. That's why we were categorizing it as response, a mere response to a Q&A. Number one. Number two, it was never aimed directly at BBM, FL, and the former speaker. In other words, had they not watched the video, for example, they wouldn't have known about it. So in other words, Your Honor, there was no threats to begin with. And so even the discussion on the elements is not really applicable insofar as determining the innocence or guilt of the Vice President. That is basically our position. That is one more thing. And practically, we maintained this position all throughout our pleadings. We never referred to that statement as threats. We always say that if at all they were alleged threats. But we referred to the statements of the Vice President as statements, as responses. And even in my speech, that's what I said. It was a response.
Malinaw yun ha. Para sa defense team, hindi po threat yung kay VP Sara na sinabi.
That would be all, yeah.
Noted.
you.
Attorney Lotok, your response to Senator Judge Pia's question based on your investigation. You may proceed, sir.
Yes, Your Honor. In establishing, Your Honor, whether or not the crime of grave threat exists, we follow the rule. First, whether there is an actus reus, and then second, whether there is a mens rea. So actus reus, Your Honor, means whether the offender in fact uttered the threatening remarks. We were able to establish that. That's why in-authenticate po ng NBI yung video na kung saan nandoon yung utterances. The test of mens rea, Your Honor, what we did, we interpret the utterances objectively and in the light of the circumstances in which they were uttered, in the manner in which those utterances were spoken, the person to whom they were addressed, the utterances were addressed, the relationship between the parties, meaning the offender and the recipients, and then the reactions of the recipients, whether they treat the utterances serious or real. But again, I would agree with what Attorney Ligutan said. In fact,
Pero syempre, witness ka ng prosecutor.
basis po namin dyan yung Garma versus People. Ang isa ho doon sa sinabi ng Garma versus People, hindi ho kailangan na ma-intimidate o itrato ng recipient na seryoso yung threat na yan. Ang sufficient na maipakita lang na yun yung intensyon ng offender, na ma-intimidate at i-treat na seryoso yung utterances or threatening remarks na ginawa niya. Yun po yung naging basihan po namin, Your Honor.
I hope that
So at least silang tatlo ha, yung prosecutors, witness at ang defense, may kanilang opinion patungkol po sa grave threat. Okay? So kayo, audience dito sa Donmar TV, you can have also your opinion. Babasahin natin yan sa comment section ha. Paki-like, paki-share na lang itong video na ito. Sa mga hindi pa nakasubscribe, subscribe na po kayo ha. See you in my next video. Have a great day, have a great night. God bless po sa ating lahat. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas and God save the Philippines.